Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Can you do like a send up? Is wonderful, 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 amazing. It's gonna be tough. It's an hour long talk we have about recruitment end of the day, but no worries. It's gonna be cool. And like, people are like, I see someone who's like, an hour, yeah. But no worries. If you stay till the end, you will have a lot of gifts. You know, it's like Christmas. It's like sent in advance. In the end of this, let's say 40, 45 minutes, I will give you a gift that will help you. So everything's gonna be okay. Stay until the end, and then you have party with the Odoo team. So it's gonna be a great time. Let's say I'm the appetizer before the party. Today, if you're not mistaken, you are here for doing recruitment, right? Who in this room is hiring right now? Who is not hiring at all right now? And you're still here, you are curious, that's great, because maybe one day you will have to make recruitment. Who is like a HR or recruiter person, like you do that full time? Okay, who is like a founder or like a manager or director and you hire, but it's not your main. Okay, perfect, amazing. Like it's a great mix. This is what I had in mind. So my assumption here is that you know nothing about recruitment, and in an hour you will know everything about recruitment. No, it's not true. You will know the basics, you will know the 101, you will know how to avoid the main mistakes in the 5 big categories we will cover today. So before we begin, also you have to scan this stuff so you can ask all of your questions. We'll have a Q&A session in the end. And over there, with this cool dinosaur here, everything that you're thinking about in the recruitment relating field in hiring, you can basically ask the question, and I will try make my best to answer it. But it's end of the day. It was a really long day. It was a really long beginning of the week. So excuse me. And also, as you notice, potentially, yes, I'm not a native English speaker. So if something I'm saying in unclear, please forget me. Forgive me. Cool. Okay, so the talk of today is hiring when you're not a sexy unicorn. This is the theme that we discussed with the Odoo team. I didn't choose it. I also had in mind this one, hiring when you don't have 1 billion per year to spend in employer brand. This was another guess. Another one was hiring when you don't even have a recruiter, not even an HR person. Not sir, nothing at all. This was another title. And I have another one, which is hiring when you're talking to weird candidates all day and you think that Generation Z people are all boring and only spend their time on TikTok. Rest in peace, humanity. That was another idea, but it was not selected. I don't know why, because it's a really cool title. And it's not that for an hour. Imagine the awful stuff. And the last one is hiring when you never did it before. So you are super scared. You don't want to hire the wrong person. You don't want to ask the illegal questions. And you're kind of lost. Maybe that's more your situation right now, that you have to do a bit of hiring and you don't know if you're doing in the best way. So yeah, we decided to go for the first one, but we have multiple options, and I could go for ages on titles. My goal today is to share with you the 15 lessons that I've learned the hard way. This is a picture of my girlfriend. She accepted to be on that talk today with you. You know what it is to learn the hard way. So she fell on the snow and blah. And this is the best picture I have on my phone on my girlfriend. Not the one she prefers, but the one I do prefer. So yeah. 15 lessons, stay with me the whole time, and in the end you will have like a full bonus, like gifts. You will go away with a full package, full of stuff to use in your day-to-day recruitment practices. Cool. First thing to know about me, I didn't introduce myself for now. This is where I come from, so it's a place in the middle of the countryside in France. I grew up with, no one around me, not that much humans, mostly animals. So yeah, I mean, kind of like sometimes in recruitment, when you're looking for candidates, you look around and there's no one. There's no candidate, so this is part of my story. For 18 years of my life, I was in this middle of the countryside. You can go there if you want. It's called Vauvinard. Yeah, even the name you don't want to get in that village. Second thing to know, when I was an employee, because now I'm an entrepreneur, I've worked in 7 companies, 6 years, 4 countries. Don't do that, but at the same time, you can hire candidates that did that. Sometimes as a recruiter, you think this person is changing job all the time, and you think, that person is not the right person. It's not, I don't feel it. 6 months in a company, then 1 year in another one, then 6 months in another one is not a bad, is a bad idea. This is what you may think, but this is not actually true, and there is a lot of different reasons that people change jobs. For me, sometimes it was like, hey, you are fired. Okay, why? The whole company is fired. Okay, cool. Other reasons can be, hey, you have a new manager, but this guy is toxic. Ah, okay, then I'm leaving. Another time is, hey, you have harassment case in your company. Do you want to still stay in this company? No, you leave. You have multiple reasons that people leave. This is the first lesson for you. Actually, lesson number 0 is never trust a resume and always ask questions to the candidate. Don't make assumptions. Third thing to know about me is I did a lot of what you call scaling. Maybe you hope for your company to do scale, so to hire massively in a short amount of time. Well, this is my whole life as a recruiter. I never have the situation of, hey, we have 2 hires to do per year, enjoy. No, it's always you have 20 hires to do for last week, enjoy. And then you're like, ah, okay, then I have to adapt and to learn new techniques. So yeah, quite a lot of recruitments in this day. Actually, the Choco team, they are here today. If you don't know about this cool company, have a look. They are in front of the 7B, I guess, scene. They are here tomorrow and the day after. The best company I've worked for ever. So go and meet the Choco team. It's wonderful. They did not pay me to do that at all. Last thing to know is most of my career as a recruiter, because for 8 years I've been a recruiter, I didn't have tools, I didn't have budget, I didn't have time, I didn't have a proper understanding of the jobs I was hiring for. I was in deep for all my time as a recruiter. I never have this chance, to be in this comfortable seat and be like, hey, take your time and so on and so forth. So I learned the hard way, and that's the reason why today I'm in front of you, and that's always the reason why I've created my company, which is called Blendy. And this is my co-founder. Her name is Elise. She's the most amazing person in the planet after my girlfriend. And with her, we have created Blendy, and our job is to train recruiters, managers, and directors, entrepreneurs to do recruitment better. So today you will have a glimpse of that, the bare minimum to be able to hire efficiently. I hope that you're ready for that. Today's program. Everything about recruitment, introduction, then we'll have the 5 more important aspects of every single recruitment process. What you want, how to make people come at you, how to look out for candidates when they are not coming at you, how to evaluate them, and how to make sure they have the best experience ever. This is the 5 part of recruitment. If you do it correctly, you are doing 80% of everything you need to do as recruitment. Good for you? You're okay with the program? You want to add maybe a 7th option? No? Okay. Sure? Now or never? Part 7? No one? Part 7. Okay, let's go. So we have 6 parts. Part number 1. Recruitment has entered a new era. And this is something I love. I don't know if you're like a Lord of the Rings fan, but they talk about ages. So you have the first age, second age, third age, and fourth age, which is the end of the movies. You have the beginning of the fourth age. Recruitment has entered this age. So 20 years ago, marketing, is anyone here working in marketing? Marketing. 20 years ago, marketing was awful. No tools, no recognition, bad salary. No one it was before Salesforce, basically, for instance. And now, recruitment is at the same age. So we are discovering modern stuff, method, tools, and so on. So recruitment has become something cool, and I will help you to do it with you. So, first thing is, you know that a bad hire, it's 90k euros less for your company. Do you want to lose 90,000 euro? Who wants to lose 90,000? No one. Why? Because as you know, if you do like a mismatch, if you hire the wrong person, there is an impact on your colleagues, there is an impact on your business, there is an impact on hiring the next person, and so on and so forth. And this is like a minimum, this is on average, but sometimes it's way more. 2 weeks ago, I talked with a CEO of a company. He hired a really bad salesperson, and he had like a big contract with the French government, 2 million contract. And this guy, he was so bad, he managed to destroy that contract. So the cost of this bad hire was 2 million. One person, 2 million of lack of profit for the company. They have to fire people because they didn't have enough money to pay everyone because of one bad hire. I don't want to scare you, but I want to make you like every time you have to hire, you take your time, breathe, relax, and you apply the right method and tools. Yeah. Recruitment, maybe what you think is, you put a job description out there, you have an interview, and you say, hey, welcome to the team. This is not what recruitment is today. If you are doing recruitment right now, you know it's a lot of sourcing, it's a lot of convincing, it's a lot of training the people around you. The people here that are in HR or recruitment, you have to train your managers to do recruitment internally, otherwise they ask questions like, do you want a third child in interviews? And you're like, no, don't ask that, please. So it's a lot of hidden part of the job, and that's why it's tough. Recruitment has changed. Recruitment is the new cool, and a lot of people now want to make a career in recruitment. Before, it used to be like the lowest part of HR, and everyone hated it. Now recruitment is cool. It's a lot of stuff. It has become super interesting and also super difficult. Recruitment is complex now, and it was not the case before COVID, for instance. It used to be easier. Yeah. If you have to read one book, read this book called Evidence-Based Hiring. It's a really nice one. They use data to talk about recruitment. Usually we talk about, recruitment is a human thing. Like, yeah, I do HR because I love humans. Bad idea. You have to do HR because you like numbers, methods, tool, efficiency. And this is an example of, like, if you think in a data-driven way, you can understand better how you hire. You do this kind of like, like it's called path-through rate. So you do retro engineering of your recruitment process, and you can think with data on are you hiring the right way or not. So recruitment has changed. It has become super data-driven, super more difficult, and that's where you join the party, because now you have to make recruitment. Today, recruitment is not HR, not anymore. It's sales, marketing, psychology, data, tech, product. We take the best of every single field, because for years we hired for other departments, and now as recruiters, we empower ourselves. We take the best techniques from everywhere, and we make recruitments better. So if you have to hire also a recruiter right now, or like just give them more money, give them more tools, give them more time, recruitment is the single most important job in every single company. And if you're an entrepreneur or a manager, this is your duty number one. Because if you do recruitment the best way, then you don't have to manage. If you hire people which are smarter than you don't have to do management. You don't have to lose time with bad managers, right? So recruitment is the duty number one of every single manager. If you manage people, this is your duty. Meaning that if you fail, it's going to be your fault, but if you make it a success, it's going to be thanks to you. So, Spider-Man with a lot of responsibilities come great power, stuff like that. I forgot it's end of the day as well. Anyway, this is you. The first thing you have to think about when you do recruitment is who do you want to hire? Just to know who in this room is hiring right now, let's say, less than 5 people per year. Less than 5? Okay, between 5 and 10? Between 10 and 50? More than 50? If it's more than 50, okay, you shouldn't not that much be in this room. It makes sense. You're working at Odoo, right? So it makes sense that you are hiring more than 50. Otherwise, then it's gonna be not the public for this audience, because in my mind you start from 0. Okay, so one thing to have in mind: preparation is the only thing to do before jumping into recruitment. You have to prepare your recruitment. You have to make it strategic. How do you do that? The first question to ask yourself is: do you really need to hire? I know it's a bit weird, but every single time I have like a customer coming at me, they're like, "Hey Leo, I need help with hiring. Are you sure you need to hire?" And they're like, "Yes, that's why I'm talking with you." And like, "Are you sure you need to hire?" And then I ask all of these questions. Maybe your team don't have the best tool to succeed. Maybe they are not trained and they could become better and you don't need to hire someone. Maybe you can have a freelancer doing the job, instead of you. Or also, okay, you want to hire someone, but are you okay to give a lot of money to that person? Are you okay to onboard that person? Are you okay to manage that person? If the answer is, no to that, then don't hire. Don't hire someone you don't need, you cannot afford, or you cannot manage. So yeah, first lesson about recruitment is don't do recruitment. Number 2, define when you need. This is the first gift. I said, it's Santa, it's Christmas in advance. So this is the first gift I'm giving you. I'm gonna briefly show you, and then you're gonna have it in the end anyway. But yeah, this is like what we call a hiring kickoff. So it's all of the questions you should ask yourself before hiring. So why the needs, what is the job to be done, who is that person, how will be the process, so on and so forth. So all of these questions, every time you scroll down, you have the question and so on. This is a gift for you. You will have as a QR code in the end, so no worries. But then you have to stay until the end, so I'm sure you stay until the end, and you will have this gift. Every single recruitment has to begin with that. If not, it's potentially going to be like a mishire, and you don't want that. So the second lesson is this gift is ask a lot of questions, ask yourself a lot of questions, and you will be able to hire the right person, not just one random individual. Lesson number 3, what about your colleagues? This is not from me, this is from a company called HR Forecast website. Did you ever hire someone internally? Did you hire your colleague for a position within this own company? Who already did this kind of like move, internal hiring? Not much. Let's say it's roughly 20-30% in here, which is not that much. Internal hire is cheaper, it's free, it doesn't take that much time. The only time you have is maybe to help that person, to manage that person to make the job. Let's say you are a team of 5 in the marketing department, your manager is leaving because toxic boss, so he's leaving. Whether you hire someone to replace that person or you put one person from the team and you make this person become the new manager. And usually that works. So before thinking about external hire, you can think about internal hire. And the best part of that is it's easier to hire one person as a junior, as a member of the team, than to hire a manager. So don't hire the difficult person, hire the easy one, and then do a promotion, internal promotion to that person that will become the new manager. Internal hire sometimes is better than external hire. And you go from I hire her because she already did it, to I hire her because I believe that she can do it. And this is the big switch in our mind. Usually, and I think it's pretty much the case potentially with you, it's you want someone that have 10 years of experience, already did that in a SaaS industry, and eventually with AI kind of background. You want that person to already did that before. And it's a bad idea, because someone that already did that before, if this person is good, she doesn't want to do it again. She wants a new challenge. So it's better to hire someone that wants to do it but never did it than someone that's already did it and it's going to be bored while doing it. So hire someone with potential rather than someone with experience. And also give you a chance to the senior, like this old people, old folks. In the job market, when you're more than 40 years old, you're dead. But don't think that. Hire people which are more than 40, hire people which are less than 25. These people which have a lot of discrimination because you are too young or too old, too much something, not enough this, hire these people. Go from potential rather than, hey, you already did that before. This is the third lesson. Part 2, how to attract your candidates. This is a big one. In some of the companies today, you can have 100% of your applicants coming at you. In your companies today, let's say, raise your hand if you do more of sourcing, so looking out for candidates, than people that apply. If you do more sourcing, raise your hand. So more like reaching out to people, going after them, sending a LinkedIn message. Okay, so let's say it's 25-30%. You can switch to full attracting people, employer brand, personal brand, and so on. But the first thing for that is to burn your job description. Start with that. Like really, burn it to the ground, use like lighter or whatever, and burn it up. Yesterday I was on Indeed, and I watched job in Brussels. This is the first one that came out that was in English, because this talk is in English. And this is the classic job description, with like that much of stuff that you don't care, and that much of requirements. Like the requirements is, to be president of the world, and you will be getting paid for minimum wage. Burn your job description and start from scratch. Start from zero. Use copywriting, use more techniques, but don't have this kind of like shitty job description. And if you think, but I will use the same as I used before, if everyone does that, then all of the job description looks the same, and you don't want that. Any French speakers in the room? Sorry from the non-French speaker, because my best reference from my best gift, so it's a second gift, you will have it in the end as well. It's like an ebook, 40 pages on how to build the best job description. And it's written in French, but you can ask AI to translate it anyway, right? Second thing is, on your job description, you can use audio. So this is a podcast, for instance, the one in red, that was made by an intern in L'Oréal in Italy with 0 budget. It was like, hey, I will create a L'Oreal podcast in Italy. And now a lot of people are coming through that channel. Here, this is when I was working at Choco, you had the written parts of a job description, and you had like tiny piece of audio. So 30 seconds, 1 minute of manager taking their time to explain the job. Like what's the culture, how do we work, what are the working hours, any remotes, and so on and so forth. And you have the audio plus the text. It's much better than just text. You know, I'm not teaching you anything, but we live in a world now of audio and video. We don't live in a world of text anymore. People don't read books. People go on TikTok and they listen to podcasts. So we have to adapt, and even in recruitment, we have to go from text only to audio and video. And yeah, third one is like just a video, random video of like a guy talking about his company. But even if the video is made with your phone, you know, like in a selfie way, this is still better than no video at all. So you can try that. Maybe it won't work, but maybe it will. And if it will, you know, like send me a message like, hey, it's working. So I talk about this gift. Now, on top of that, there is one cool thing called job ads. I don't know if you're aware of that practice. So ad is for advertisements. So once again, marketing stuff. And this is an example of MailChimp. They put like 3 real employees of MailChimp, and it was like a random, like really random kind of campaign, and it will drive the traffic towards the job description. So a job description should always be like linked and bound with the job ads. And the job ad is what you put on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on the streets, everywhere. You just do like, it's kind of, you know, it's the marketing 101. It's marketing in the streets. You give that to people and it's working. The best example is this one in Austria. It's IKEA. I think you all know the IKEA brands. Well, they wanted to open a new shop. So every single customer, on top of their, you know, like Klanik, Kapunstruck, and all of this kind of like furniture, they always put this tiny paper. It's written, assemble your future, and it's about the career at IKEA. So every single people that was buying some stuff, they had this in the package to be like, hey, do you want to join IKEA? This is the onboarding process. This is how we do training. This is how we will put you further in your career, and hired 100 new employees in 2 weeks with that idea. Crazy idea. So add the job ads to your job description. Number six is your personal brand is bigger than your company brand. Who was here today when the talk at noon? Yes, okay. At 12 I did a talk on that. And I think, yeah, in the gifts that I have for you, you have the replay of that. So, you know, like it's like kind of like meta version, but you can replay the stuff that you missed at noon, and it's all about personal brand. So I won't go further, but if you are not this sexy unicorn, it means that your personal brand is bigger than your company brand. If you're not Odoo, if you're not Microsoft, if you're not Nike or whatever, your own brand in this room, every single individual, is higher than your company brand. Maybe you try that, you know, to make a post on LinkedIn with your company, and it's like 10 likes, right? 5, and it's all of your employees that like it up, not a single candidate. But if you do a post with your own account, it's way more powerful. So your brand, your own brand, is higher than your company brand. Use it. Here we'll go directly to that. Yeah, we'll do that. So if people are not coming at you, potentially it's because you have like a bad job description, you didn't do any job ads, you don't have like a company website, or you don't use your personal brand. And in that case, what you do is you do what you call sourcing in the recruitment industry. This is, you know, like this biggest, if it's Halloween and you want to scare a recruiter, you say, hey, you do some sourcing today. Like, no, I don't want to do sourcing. Everyone hates that. Everyone hates to send a message to candidates. You have the feeling that you are disturbing them, they won't answer, they won't listen, and no one likes that. It's worse than dating to do sourcing. It's awful. No one wants to do that. One thing to remember here is to be in always be hiring mode. This is not a sentence from me, but this is what they say at Google. It's always be hiring. You always have someone you know around you that is looking for a job. Maybe in this very own room, the person which is sitting on your right is looking for a job, and maybe you can hire that person. Try that after the talk. You know, like, hey, are you looking for a job? Potentially it will work. You know. Okay, I know we work together, so no, I won't hire you because you're already working in my team. So yeah, always be hiring. What does it mean? If you're in a nightclub, you can hire the person you are dancing with. If you're in the streets, you can be this weird person that talks to someone else, and you can hire that person. If you're at a lunch or dinner with friends, maybe actually they know someone that knows someone that knows someone you can hire. And even at an event like today, every single kind of company event, you can hire people. It never stops. It's hard when you're an introvert. I'm an introvert, meaning that talking to people exhausts me. I love doing so, but tonight I will sleep like a baby because this is my second talk of the day and I'm super tired already. It doesn't mean I don't have to do that. Every single person in this room may know someone that you have to hire. And even if you don't hire for, let's say, finance position today, maybe in 6 months you will need this finance person. And if you start from today talking to finance people, when you have to make this hire, you're already connected with finance people. Use this kind of like pipeline, always talking to candidates, and build your own candidate CRM. You all know, but who is using Odoo here? Who is not using Odoo? How dare you coming to the so yeah, you have a CRM, but you can use every single kind of other CRM as well, and put all of these candidates in it. The one that you don't have a job for them right now, but you will have a job later on. And this is super important. So always have in advance list of candidates that you can hire in a few weeks, months, or years. My longest recruitment is like 4.5 years between the first time I talked to that person and the moment I hired him. I was super happy, like, finally, I can hire you, 3 different companies, and I can hire you. And it works. You create long-term relationship, and then it's the best recruitment you can do. One example of this one, so this is a message I received 2022. Hey Leo, I applied 2 months ago at ClearUp, but you choose another candidate. You suggest me to contact to blah blah blah, Kevin from Keltio, and I'm happy to announce that we really matched, and I started here on Monday. Thanks a lot for your help. It's partly because of you that I have a job today. Create connections. Like I often say that as a recruiter, we are living Tinder. We are living dating apps. We spend our time to make matching between people that potentially we don't know and we will never talk with later on. So make these connections between people, even if like sometimes you don't have something in return, it will work eventually. This is what we call paid forward. So you give to someone, you give to someone today, maybe in a year or in 2 years, they will remember that and they will give you a service in exchange. So paid forward, make connections with a lot of people. Point number 8, after burning your job description. Yeah, I don't have any issues with fire, don't be scared of that, but burn as well your outreach message. Most of the outreach messages, I'm pretty sure you have a ton in your LinkedIn messages, like from recruiters and from sales people. And often they suck a lot. They are really bad, they are not copyrighted, it's like copy-paste, and everyone hates that. The worst one I had is this one. It's one I've got, so hey Ivan, it's Leo, not Ivan. So, okay, first line is the mistake of the name, which is hard to miss. And second thing is, I noticed your interest for HR transformation, like the last webinar we did together. I was not in that webinar. So this is not my name, and I was not in the event he is mentioning. And then he asked, am I wrong? Which is perfect. So like the guy is wrong twice in a message which is like 15 words, and he managed to ask, am I wrong? This is okay, the worst example, but usually we have like really bad outreach messages. 2 stories here. The first one is I was working as a recruiter, permanent contract in a startup in Paris, and I received a message to do a maternity leave for an office manager position in a big corporation in Amsterdam. So targeting is right on spot. And the second one, why the kangaroo? Yes, maybe you have guessed because you think about Australia. I was hunted for a job as a civil servant, so working for the Australian state in a place 100 kilometers west of Sydney. Of course, I said, yeah, why not? Let's talk. And this person never answered because it was like a poorly crafted message. But anyway, so be more on spot and target the right person. Here, it's an experiment. There is like a recruiter. He was bored, and he made an experiment. He created 13 fake developers' LinkedIn profile. He received 2.5k messages in a month. So imagine the number of messages all of the candidates you are sending out messages or receiving on a daily basis. It's a lot. And in these 2,500 messages, they've got 1,000 times the word opportunity, 500 times the word urgent. 1 on 5 message has urgent in it, like it is awful. I hope you're doing well. No, no one cares. No one cares if you just want to hire that person. Don't say to me, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are having a great day. I know it's being polite, but it's also being boring. And it's better to be not boring and not polite than boring and polite. And the last one is, I came across your profile. Super original sentence. There is one I like, and I mean, it's in French, but we say, je suis tombé sur votre profil. So literally in English, it's, I felt on your LinkedIn profile. Like, it doesn't make any sense. No one is on LinkedIn and be like, oh, you know, like I'm working and, oh, I felt on your LinkedIn profile. It doesn't make any sense. But still, people are using it all the time. I felt on your LinkedIn profile. I hope you're doing okay. I have an opportunity. Stop using these bullshit words. And if you don't want to use that, like, I mean, you can ask any kind of AI to basically correct and fix your message. Be like, can you remove all of the bullshits? And it's working. Ask an AI to remove the bullshit in your messages. You'll be surprised. I have another gift here on how to craft the best messages. If you stay until the end, you will have this gift. Point number 9. Who has been to a Taylor Swift concert? Yes, we have a Swiftie in the room. I've been to one because my girlfriend is a huge fan, and there is one song from Taylor Swift when she says, for me it was enough. There is only one thing in recruitment when it's not working, it's in messages. Usually you send one. Who here is sending more than one message when you do sourcing? More than one. And be honest, you're 3 in the room. If you do one message, there is an issue. Why? Because there is a lot of different possibility when your message is not read. For instance, Kevin is like me, he wears glasses, so he just didn't see the message. Okay, it's a bad joke. Other possibility is the name, your email you're using to do outreach is Mr. Waffle86 at, yeah, I had to do a joke on waffle, I'm in Belgium, right? Other possibility is, you know, like Kevin is receiving your message, but then the colleague Maria is coming, hey, you want to have a coffee break? You never say no to a coffee break. So yes, you take this coffee break and you forget to answer. Another possibility. The last one is my favorite, is let's say just this candidate you're looking for, he doesn't want another job. But maybe 2 weeks later, the HR say to Maria, you've got the job. You're the internal mobility, you're the new manager, not you, Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. You didn't have to be the one to be a manager. This is Maria that got it. And then what he thinks, oh, I'm looking for something else. And then if you send another message, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, maybe it is going to be the time for Kevin to answer your message. There is so many possibilities for the candidates not to answer you. So one message is not enough. Sorry, Taylor Swift, you have to do more than one. Usually I do 5 to 6 messages when I reach out to candidates. And as long as I don't get insults, I keep going. And usually I never have it. It just, you go forever. And the best thing is to do one per week for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you send another one 6 months later, and 6 months later. So you build your long-term relationship, and you will be surprised by the results of that. If I back up everything with data, if you just send one email, it's 30%. This is a like stat from HireSuite. It's a French CRM that specialized in recruitment. Just one email, 13% answer rate. If you go to 3, it doubles. Just 3 messages, it means that if you're targeting 100 candidates, you get 200 instead. If you're targeting to 1,000, you get 2,000. I mean, you got it. And if you do LinkedIn invites plus an invite plus an email, this is just 3, you go to 34%. This is an average. So the more you contact the candidates and the more you change the channels, the better chance you have of having a yes, I'm okay to talk. Good? Good. Always be hiring, always be hiring. Okay, we have 2 parts left. One is evaluation. And here, we're going to play a little game. I will give you an example of recruitment methods to evaluate candidates. And if you think it's a good method, you raise your hand. Okay? Get it? If you think it's a right one you will use in an interview, you raise your hand. If you think if not, then you don't raise your hand. Graphology. No one? It's the best method out. Just kidding. But it's still used. It was like in June this year, I had like someone being like, yes, I'm using it on a daily basis. If the person doesn't know how to write, how can she be a good employee? Yes, this is still happening, but you're good people, you don't do that. Okay, portfolio, example of work, like example of code. Who is using it for hire. We think it's a good idea. This is one of the best things because it is proof by example of what this candidate is able to do. So this is better than a resume to use a portfolio, or if you are hiring developers, to go on GitHub and see what they are doing. I mean, they can copy or they can use AI, whatever, but then if you start thinking that, you don't hire anyone. Who think that automated video interview is a good idea? So you have interviewer asking questions, pre-recording question, and you pre-record yourself and you answer. Who think it's a good idea? No one? One per two, okay. Three, it's efficient. Yes, because you don't have to lose time in interviews, but it's a no full candidate experience. Everyone hates being in front of a computer and answering questions. I did that multiple times. It was like kind of like a new stuff to do 5 or 6 years ago. It's awful. I don't know if you already did that, but yeah, no, don't do that. Okay, extroversion. Do you think it's a good criteria to hire someone based on extroversion or introversion? I have one, I have two. It's a bad idea. Like for instance, people think that a salesperson has to be extrovert. No, it has been proven by science, by years of research, that the best sales are introverts. They are more shy because they listen more. They make silence, breaks, so that the customers can answer back. And an extrovert is like blah, 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 and it's not the best sales option. So yeah, it's not a good idea to do that. It doesn't have any single link with efficiency at work. Who use astrology? We have one, okay. Two, woohoo, astrology. I'm a Scorpio, don't hire me. I'm a bad person because I'm a Scorpio. Just kidding. You can use it for your personal life, but of course, don't use it for recruitment. Video games? You think it's a good idea? Okay. Have a look at a company. It's a French company called Yuzu, like the fruit, Y-U-Z-U, and they are currently creating a whole world of assessments based on video games. And they think that candidates are so much immersed in the video games that they will be the best version of themselves. And they are backed with a lab like scientists, sociology stuff, and this kind of things. And it's not working for now, but maybe one day, who knows? And the last one is called structured interview. Who is using that? Okay, cool. Half of you. I will give you like a really short overview of what is a structured interview. It goes like this. Yeah, another Taylor Swift. You can make a picture of this one as well. You know, like it's, yeah, at least it's two people happy about it, my girlfriend and another Swiftie here. So in the beginning of every Taylor Swift concert, she starts with, "Welcome to the Eras Tour." So yeah, I feel like Taylor Swift, I don't have the music, I don't have the budget and so on, but welcome to the skill-based Eras Tour. Before, let's say 5-10 years ago, we used to hire people based on diploma and experience. That's a bad idea. The best way is to hire people based on skills, what they can do, and you don't have to have experience to be able to be good at something. It comes with practice. Sometimes 1 year is more than 1 year in a good company, in a good environment with the right tools, is better than 5 years of experience in a bad company with a bad manager, and so on and so forth. So go skill-based. How you do that? And this is examples I took from when I was working at Choco. I mentioned this company earlier. So this is real example of how you build a skill-based set of questions, and you will have like the coolest gifts after that. So you start with a mission statement. It's like a too long, didn't read, one line. What is the recruitment about? Then you move to the second part, which is objectives, with numbers, key numbers. Every recruitment should start with that. So 300% growth, grow the team from 10 to 30, so on and so forth. So you can measure it. You hire someone for that reason, and then 1 year later, 2 years later, you can measure. It's like, is it working or not? You will have like the summary of that also. Step 3 is expected behaviors. So here, this is the most difficult part. In order to implement one new method techniques per month, you have to imagine what this person will do on a daily basis. So you start a sentence with the ideal candidate will be blah, 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 blah. And to imagine that, you have to think about all of the previous employees that did that before. It's called, in French, it's incident critique. It's a really awful way of saying that, but you take like a bad example, bad behavior, or a good example, a good behavior that someone in your company already had, and you put it as a skill. You transformed it into a skill. And now, when you're doing that, you go for the last part, which is drafting questions. And for that, I will show you directly the gift. So it's a tiny Oh no, okay, no, this is not the one I was expecting, but that's fine. This is the first gift for you then. It's a list of questions to assess soft skills. Maybe you're familiar or not with this numbers. It's everything which is not job related, but more skills related. And you have like a list, like a very long list that you can scroll forever. If you don't manage to sleep at night, you can scroll that until you're bored. So it's a list of a lot of questions that are backed by the streets. People try that in interviews and it's working. So if you want to assess respect, if you want to assess problem solving, if you want to assess political and so on and so forth, you have questions here that you can use. You're gonna have access to this in a moment. And the second one, this is the one I was expecting, but somehow this is not what I did. And there we go. It's a tiny GPT prompt. It's it's a really easy one, and it goes from this. So it's a long prompt, and then I put with like a job at Odoo, the business support analyst. So I just put here a job description, and then the AI gives me 7 hard skills, 7 soft skills based on this job description, and then it is generated questions to evaluate that in a click. Like you don't even have to think about the questions anymore. And better, because this is what you need to do after that, is, yeah, I don't know why it failed to make a table. So I'm like, I mean, come on, this is not a table, but text, do it again. And still not a table, do it again. But anyway, you know, fighting with AI, now it's our regular basis. Before we fight with interns, now we fight with AI. So yeah, you have like, for instance, for technical troubleshooting, which is a skill, you have the question, what is a poor answer? What is an average answer? What is a good, excellent answer? So then when the candidate is answering, you benchmark it to what you did before, what you prepared before, and you benchmark the candidate answer to what you defined before as being a good, a bad, or an average answer. It's a cool, really cool prompt that you can use it, make it better, improve it, make it your own, with your own style, your own way of making interviews, and in one click, you have like a, you know, like a full questions to ask to candidates. This is magic, this is AI. Yes, I don't know whether we like it or not. This is part of our life, right? Wow, it's getting very philosophical. Okay, other stuff to know. Who knows what a bias is, like cognitive bias and conscious bias? Who never heard of what a bias is? It's hard to, yeah. You don't want to you know, to be with your colleagues. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but that's fine. I will assume that you don't know. You have more than 200, and this is shortcuts that your brain is taking. Luckily for us, they exist because bias think before we do have to you know, like think about what we are thinking. Let's say you're crossing a street and you have a driver coming. This is thanks to your cognitive bias that you're backing up, and you're not like, okay, should I move again or should I go to the left? Or maybe I should call my mother to ask if I should avoid this car. I don't know, but what's the model of the car? It's a it's a Tesla. It's okay. No, imagine it will be like hell. So we have bias to avoid that. However, our biases, you know, think and make a decision instead of us in the recruitment process. And that's a bad idea. I forgot the sentence that I wanted to show you, but I love this one. It's most of the world will make decisions by either guessing or using their guts. They will be either lucky or wrong. If you use your gut feeling, if you use the feeling, if you use this, you know, I don't like this candidate. Why? I don't know. I don't like him. This is what is happening all the time in recruitment, and this is a bias, and we have to fight for it. Going back in time, the first one, the most dangerous one in recruitment, is called the affinity bias. Like for instance, I live in the Savoie, in the Alps, so if I have a candidate be like, I love to do hiking, my eyes are like, oh, you like to do hiking? And it's, you know, it's a simple thing. It doesn't mean that this person is better than another one, but because I do like hiking as well, we have a connection. We bond together. Same for, oh, you have studied to Louvain-la-Neuve as well. Wow, amazing. I've been to Louvain-la-Neuve. It's a really cool place to be a student, right? And then there is no relation with like the skills or whatsoever, but still you like that person. And this is a bad idea. Second kind of bias, it's called the halo effect or the horn effect. Maybe you're aware of that. So the halo is one single piece of information, a positive one, will contaminate the rest. So let's say your first question, the candidate is delivering you the best answer of their life. If the rest of the questions, they fail, you will still have in mind this one wonderful answer, and you think, yeah, but this person is amazing, because this first question, he got it. So it's one single piece of information that will contaminate the rest, and we don't like it, and it's working the other way around. Like, for instance, I'm not a smoker, and I don't like the the smell of people that smoking. It doesn't mean that people that smoke are bad employees, but when I used to be a recruiter on a day-to-day basis, if I saw someone that was smoking, that has a smoke smell, I was like, no, I won't hire. Doesn't make any sense, but this is bias, and then you have to be aware that your decision was affected by bias. And for that, I will give you like a really cool gift as well. But the sun bias I wanted to talk to you about is called the anchor effect. The first thing you see will contaminate the rest. Let's say this morning, the first talk was amazing. All of the talks that you have seen before, they were not as great as the first one. And maybe the first one was like the founder of Odoo, so it was amazing, and then the rest of it was not as great. If you see like an amazing candidate first, the risk is all of the further candidates won't be as bad as the first one. So you don't know who to hire because the first one is gone already, and you compare them to the first one. This is called anchor effect, and it's working in the real life. Like, this is a study, you can have a look on the internet. It's super scary. They did an experiment with judges, old judges with a lot of experiments, 20 years of working as a judge, and before a full day of making their judge life, they asked them to send it to roll a dice. It was I don't know the name in English, but like the fake dice that always give the same results. So the first group of judge had a dice of 3, and the second group of judges 9. According to you, did they do like the same amount of months of sentences? Like, this is same crime, judges with the same amount of experience, the same day, and still the judges with the 9 was harsher, was more tough with the criminals than the second group, just because they rolled the dice. It is super scary, but this is how our brain works, and you cannot push that away completely and forget about bias, but you can understand how it's working. And this gift I have here for you, you will have it in there as well. It's called Shortcuts. Like, the website is Shortcogs, and it's like a list of 200 bias. You don't have to learn about all of them, but just have a look around. If like me, sometimes you cannot sleep, you just have a look at that, and you learn about new biases. And then you understand that some of the decisions are not your decisions, but your brain decision. And this is dangerous when you talk about recruitment. Okay, final part, and we are almost near the end. It's been 45 minutes so far. How is it feeling? Is it okay? Did you learn some cool stuff? Are you happy? My jokes are not that bad. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. 5-star experience. The reason why a candidate will choose your company rather than a competitor is how you treat them. If they feel that you're treated in the best way, they will work for you. If not, they will go to your competitor. Because in the candidate's head, the way you treat a candidate is the same way you treat an employee. So let's say you're late, you have bad attitude, you're not smiling, and so on and so forth. They will imagine that working with you is going to be the same. And I will give you some tips to make them best experience. But first, imagine that we start from far away. When you Google why recruiters, this is what you get. I love the third one. Why recruiters are bad for your career. This is what candidates think about us. No matter if you're not a recruiter, if you're a manager, if you're a founder, if you're an entrepreneur, they will still think the same of you. People hate recruiters, people hate recruitment, people hate to be a candidate. So you just have to do like easy stuff, easy attitude to get the best at that and deliver a best experience. One example I want to give you that to show that candidates and clients are the same, it's this one. Hi Leo, I hope you're doing okay. It's been a while since our interview of Urban Novel in 2019. I'm now working in a new startup, blah, blah, blah. I'm hiring for a head of finance. Do you want to hire that person? So this is a candidate I had 3 years before this message, and he was so happy of the way I treated him in the interview process that he asked me, not someone else, to make this headhunting. A candidate of today in your company can be a client of tomorrow. So if you treat them in a perfect way, they will remember it, and they will buy your stuff. But if you treat them the harsh way, they will never forget it. And usually people, like let's say on Google Maps, we only write like bad reviews when you're like not happy. People don't remember about the average experience. They only remember the best one and the shitty one. Like I think I did maybe 3 or 4 Google reviews in my life. This was for really, really awful ones. Like one, it was just thinking about it, I'm sick again. But anyway, so yeah, make this best experience. 6 stuff that you can avoid being late. I don't know, did you already stay in front of your computer with a video interview? 5 minutes feels like 5 hours. Everyone hates to wait, and it's the same for your colleagues. If you do internal meetings, don't be late. Always be on time. Yeah, Poker Face, maybe a cool song, but yeah, there are some people in interviews, you know, like they are like that for the entire hour. They never smile. You don't know if they are doing the right stuff or not, and you know, like they feel like they are not happy to be here. No one wants to have an interviewer like that. Okay, I don't know if it was a good demo. Sorry, I'm not an actor, you know, that's why I'm not Taylor Swift, but I'm doing conferences about recruitments. Other thing is stress, you know, like some people, they love to ask tricky questions, like how many balls you can put in this room? You know, do you know some? No, it's called like a brain teaser. Google used to do it, asking completely random questions in order to see how this person will react. Google stopped that because there is literally no link between these what the fuck questions and the performance of someone. Like for instance, you know, like what's your favorite animals and why? This kind of, don't do that. Only ask questions related to the job so there's an impact. And yeah, like the last thing is super important. If you have an in-person interview, make sure this person has enough to drink, food. Give them chocolate. This is maybe if you have to honey, you know, like have one thing in his mind of today. Give your candidate chocolates. They will be happy. Who is not happy about? I mean, except this 1% in the planet that don't like chocolates. But I presume you don't live here in Brussels. It's going to be a shame to be in Belgium and not liking chocolates. But anyway, you do your own decision in life. I'm not your dad. Two more advices. One is act with tact. Easy to remember, act with tact. In every interviews, timing, attitude, cheerful, transparency. Second thing you have to remember of today. Give the candidate chocolates and act with tact. So what is timing? I already say that there is no excuses to be late in an interview. You are not late with your customers, so you don't have to be late with your candidates. The same. And if you are late, and if you know you're about to be late, send them a message. Call them. Sorry, I'm gonna be running 15 minutes late, but it's okay. It's still happening. Is that good for you? Easy stuff. 2 minutes. That's it. Second thing, attitude. Whether you like it or not, if you do an interviews, you are not only you as a person. You are your company. You are representing your company. You are like the, you know, like the public, like the prime minister of your company in a way, the spokesperson. So you have to be perfect. Even if you're having a bad day, even if your cat just peed on your bed. This is happening to me yesterday. Even if you're having like, you know, like bad stuff like that, you have to be the best version of yourself every time. Because this, for the candidates, it's gonna be just one. For you, you think it's another interview. So it's fine if you don't have the best attitude, but for them, it's important because this is the only one time they talk about you. Third thing is cheerful. People in the room, they have to have the feeling that they are the only candidates you are talking to. They know it's not that. You know it's not that as well, but they have to believe that they are the only candidates out there. And fourth stuff is transparency. Say things. Always. You know, don't wait the first day to reveal some stuff like, oh, by the way, we don't do remote. Aha. Oh, by the way, the salary is not as expected, but you know, like 20K an hour. Ah, okay. Always be transparent. And yes, you will lose candidates, but it's for the good reason. I even have, like, it was like 2 weeks ago, like a director of a company said to me that he's spending his entire interview to say stuff against his company. So for an hour, he's saying all of the bad stuff. And in the end, he takes the people that stay. And he has the best hired. It's a bit weird, but it's working. So yeah, act with tact. And the last one, and it's almost the end, is under promise, over deliver. This is where you can scan. This is all the gifts are. So in your interview process, just promise like something average and then deliver something way higher. So in here you have all of the gifts I mentioned, all of these cool links that I gathered for you. It's working, right? You're arriving on a Notion page. Yes? Say it's working? Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. You should have something like this. Super like colorful and stuff, so I put it back here. You have like a lot of stuff over here. Use it, enjoy. It's for you. It's gifts I'm giving you. So under promise, over deliver, and always make this candidate's experience the best they can ever have. So one thing to remember here is when choosing another company or yours, basically, like the experience they had will be the key decision. Experience is the most important thing that you can do. If you want to discuss on LinkedIn, you can scan this one up, but it's already on the one you scanned, so no need if you already scanned the first one. And now I think it's the time for the Q&A. I hope that there is some answers. Should I open it, or I let you do? You have it here? Okay, then perfect. Then it's time for the question that you may have. If you already put the questions, good job. If not, you can go there and you can send the questions.
Can everyone hear me? No?
Yes,
Now can you hear
they
me?
hear you.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your talk. It was very insightful, very nice. I already have some questions here, so we can maybe go over them. And please don't hesitate to send. It's live, so we can
Cool.
answer all of them. So, the first one, well, you gave us a lot of insightful steps. But if I have to start with something, where do I start?
I'd say like the first advice I gave you is like, do you need to hire? Like I know it's a bit weird and not logical, but the first thing about hiring is, do you really need to hire? And spend a lot of time with that questions. And if you're not sure, ask another entrepreneur to back you up. They were in the same situation before. Do you need to make this hire or not? Do you need to hire the CFO right now, or can you wait 6 more months? This is the first step.
Yeah, great. So you mentioned that now we have different tools that helps us with the recruitment process. And well, as we are at an Odoo conference, the question would be, well, how important it is for you to have a good tool to help you manage your company's recruitment process?
I never used the Odoo tool for recruitment, but I'm pretty sure it's amazing, right? No. Don't listen to
I
that.
like it.
No, I'm pretty sure it's good. But yeah, I think like at least a CRM is the basic stuff you can have. Like one place when you put all of your candidates together, and it's called ATS in the recruitment world, and you have to have one. You cannot hire in 2024 without this kind of tool and do it by emails or Excel files or Google Sheets. It's just not possible. Maybe it's a bit of an investment. You have to pay a bit of euros to do that, but I think Odoo recruitment is not that expensive. If you don't have money, use Notion. It's free as well, and if you don't have that much of recruitment, it will make the cut.
Okay, great. We have a lot of questions actually. So which market or country is the most advanced in terms of hiring process? So do you see any worldwide trend in terms of candidate experience where it's better or not?
It's a long question. I'd say the first part, the US and UK, they are the best. They have 5 to 10 years of advance compared to what we are doing. The US, they understood that the candidate and the client is the same person, and they deliver like the best candidate experience. So I'd say that actually the US covers the two aspects of this question. So look at what every single resources from the US is the best. For a lot of other stuff, they are maybe not the best, but for recruitment, they are above the rest.
Okay. Do you think asking for a portfolio in the recruitment process can impact the number of applicants as it takes longer to apply?
I will ask it after. So first you ask the candidate to apply, and then if you want to talk to that person, you ask them their portfolio. If you send it from the very first moment, candidate won't do it. They don't have the time to do it. So first in your application process, you do like easy stuff like just a LinkedIn or a resume, and then when you want to talk to that person based on that, you ask for the portfolio.
Okay, great. And how do you identify if an applicant is serious about his application? For instance, how to make sure they won't run away after a couple of weeks, months of employment? Tricky question.
Two things here. The first one is 70% of candidates lie during the interview process. So you'd never know if they are telling the truth. But it's tiny lie. For instance, like I managed 5. In fact, they managed 2. I made like 1 million turnover. They did half of it. It's tiny lies sometimes, but the companies are doing the same. So one is you never know, and the second aspect of the question, you have no idea. Sorry, there is no magic solution. Sometimes in recruitment it's about taking risks, and for that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure in Belgium you have the same thing in France, the notice period. So if this person, the probation period. So if the person doesn't make the cut after 1 or 2 months, you can replace that person with another. I know it's costly. I said it's costly, but recruitment is like entrepreneurship. There is risks all the time. You can. It's about humans. It's not something 0 to 1. It's not tech.
Indeed. And what do you think about making the candidate doing exercises before an actual interview to filter the mass?
It depends. If it's a tiny one, like it takes 5 to 10 minutes, it's fine. If it's more, you will lose them. But you can do it between, let's say, first step 1 and step 2. So step one, you have like this first, like this. I forgot the word about it. The first call you have with the candidates to make sure they're looking at that and so on and so forth. After that, between step one and step two, you can ask for tests, for something to do, but not before. It's too soon. It's like, like first date, you don't ask the person, do you want to marry me? It's not working. You have to know the person before.
They are asking for the QR code. That's for the Notion?
This one.
Yeah, that one. And one last question, because we are out of time. So what about the challenge between hiring experienced people in one area because you don't know anything, when you don't know anything on the subject?
If I get this question, is that let's say like an entrepreneur that hired the first person in finance, but they don't have an expert. Yes.
I suppose, yes.
Let's say that. Ask to other companies that did it before. I'm pretty sure in your network, let's say, for instance, the first time I had to hire a DevOps, I have no idea what DevOps was. So what did I do? I Googled on LinkedIn, do I have DevOps in my network? Oh yes, I have 2 or 3. And I sent a message, hey, I know nothing about your job. Can you explain me what a DevOps is doing? And then they accepted that. So for 30 minutes, we discussed, and then I knew the bare minimum of what a DevOps is. So ask your network, and they will help you. Other people that went through that will be able to help you to do so. So if you don't know, ask people that know.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and thank you
Thank you
everyone
very
for
much
being
for your
here.
time. I hope it was not too long, and enjoy the party tonight with the Odoo team and stuff. Bye bye.